talking about a competition that we have, episode 21.
21. Benching and bullshitting.
Benching
Episode
and bullshitting.
21.
We have what she refers to as off-camera Kate as herself. She'll be off-camera here. IPA is absolutely the federation of choice. My federation of choice.
Okay. Oh, you can see Peebs on the YouTube. And then
fat fucking cat's in the background here. There she is, right there.
Little baby.
So, IPA is great. IPF, not so great. So, anyway, we had a meet this weekend. We were at the IPA Pennsylvania States at the infamous York Barbell Hall of Fame. I have been up there probably, Jesus, 6, 7 times. Wonder at Mex, what's up? Been up there 6 or 7 times, and we want cats in the live. There you go. And this is it was a good meet. Didn't have a good day, but I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment. Let's see what we got. No, so I did not attempt anything in a new 4-ply. I attempted all of my weights in my first shirt ever from Rob. The shirt that's a year plus, which is a good testament for how long they can last. Absolutely. So what happened? I'm not trying to make excuses, but obviously people want to know why I was unsuccessful. And like I said at the very beginning, this is the first time where I have not been disappointed. Brian, what's up? Brian got his first total in today. Awesome job. And I'm not disappointed because I know exactly what's wrong, and that's a plus. So what we were there, got to warm up on the platform. If people saw that, the live was in and out because their Wi-Fi at that area is just terrible. So,
and there's a lot of people
there's people on their phones and things like that. So. And actually, at this very moment, I have had the most people go hop on my live ever. So I really appreciate all of you for being on here. This is freaking cool. Anyway, warm up on the platform.
No, that's what I was saying. Start at the beginning, you were on the platform.
On the platform.
Warmed up there.
Did all my warm-ups. Yep, and they supplied an F8 bench bar for me, which is fantastic. So thank you, Rob Farrell, Mark Chalet, Ellen Chalet, Fred Fisher, everybody who allowed that to happen. The F8 bench bar is now going to be the official bar of the IPA. So,
and
IPA.
I'm pretty sure they changed the rule that anybody who's going to attempt an all-time world record bench can bring their own bar. Or can request a specific bar.
Yeah, if you're going for an all-time world record bench in the open division, I'm pretty sure they revised their rules to allow pretty much any barbell. Yeah. So,
I mean, they're still gonna weigh your bar and shit.
Oh, absolutely. You have to know it. You gotta know what it weighs.
Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, warm-ups felt great. Now when I got up to 1,000, I did 1,000 and then 1,200, and then did my opener 1,325. 1,000 and 1,200 moved very quick, but they felt surprisingly uneven, and I was like, "What's going on here?" So that was whatever. Did 1,200.
Uneven how?
Like sideways, like rocking back and forth. I was like, "What?" I was like, "No, I'm not the pad they use at the York Barbell is squishy. It's a squishy pad. I call those Tempur-Pedic pads when they squish. I'm a firm pad kind of guy. And Bench Freak, F8 bench bar, best bench bar on the planet. I think they're just the bench bars on the market ever. Like right now and forever, that they're just the strongest, stiffest bars. You know, obviously when Pharrell does his Cerakoting, just makes them all that much fucking cooler. So, first attempt, opener was 1325. That's the one that shocked me the most. 1325 came down. And I'm trying to keep it all in frame for both of you, YouTube and IG. I was coming down with it, and it started to do this. Mm-hmm. Not up and down, but sideways. And I started to touch. I wanted to touch.
Almost like it was a circle, like oscillating. Like
it was an oscillation movement. It was doing this almost like a circle. And I couldn't correct it. And I was like, "Oh Jesus, take it!" And
you were so close to touching though. Probably like half of a half board, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like we're talking just millimeters, just so close to touching. Rob was like, He wanted to say press, but I'm not there.
It was so close.
So, yeah, I hate benching on couch pads. Cody Plum says couch pad. Yeah, squishy. Soft benches tend to slip more, I guess. So, yeah, it was just, whatever. It's the meat. I already know. I know going in what it's going to be. Weaker foundation. So, yeah, I know this going in. I'm like, okay, it's a soft pad. I'll have to deal with it.
Well, and that's the same pad that you benched 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yes.
So it's not like you've never done it before.
No.
You're used to this.
But the oscillation in the bar.
Yeah,
that
new.
really fucked me up. I was like, what's going on here? So I was like, okay, maybe the heavier weight will come down better. And awesome brother, goat, thank you. I'm just a competitor like all the rest of you. Yeah, and Reggie says that's what sucks. You sink as the weight comes down, making touching tough on the soft pads. You're right. Went to 1400. Took it down on my second attempt. I didn't switch shirts. I did not switch shirts. I brought the new one. Did not use it. I used the old year-plus-year-old black one for all my attempts.
Which I do think was the right choice.
Yeah, it was. It was the right choice.
I was afraid that shirt wouldn't touch.
So, Lemon Lime is asking, is your CNS strained and when you are going forward again? No, my CNS is not strained. It did not fuck me up like at all, honestly, because I'm so used to it. I've accommodated to it.
Yeah.
I'm a little sore, but other than that, I'm fine. And Thomas, so what type of pad would be good for you? Pads from Donnie Thompson, just so I have an idea of squishy pads. The Thompson pads are not squishy. They have like girth, but they're pretty firm. I'm talking like if you push your hand down, it goes poof. Yeah. Like it just pushes straight down. That's what I consider a squishy pad.
Anyway, finish your story and then answer all
1400 came down. He might have been attacking the curtains. Reggie was asking. Anyway, came down with 1400. Got down towards the touch. I came even closer to touching on that one. Rob really wanted it. He's like,
your second one was the best.
Yeah.
It oscillated less. Like, it was still moving around there, but the handoff was really good.
Yep.
You were so close. If you would have just, I don't know, squeezed your ass cheeks.
Something. I needed like millimeters to make that bar touch.
There's no way I could even put like a number 2 pencil.
Yeah. Very
in
close.
There. It was so close. Rob and I were like making eye contact and like looking, and it was.
And then, Mark, if you had had a thick pad, would you have gotten it? Probably not. I'm going to get to that here in a second. Repeated 1410. What a touch. I repeated 14 on my third. Thank you, Owen. And same thing. I came down halfway. As soon as I broke my elbows, it just went. I was like, I was just doing this. I'm like, okay, nope. I even said, just take it. I didn't say take it. I said, just take it. I was like, no.
And I could see on your face, you were just like, fuck, this is heavy. Like, fuck this.
It just sucked.
Like, this is heavy. It is moving weird. Fuck it.
And Justin Jafari, some Saiyan DNA. Thank you, Thomas. Justin says, does your shoulder mobility factor into you not touching your chest on those attempts? No. No, I have like no shoulder mobility, but that's not the reason for this.
And you did he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So Wednesday.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Wednesday, I didn't hurt it. I pissed it off.
Yeah.
I came into the gym on Wednesday. I go heavy up until the meet, so that's like part of the story. I did 1,000 pounds for a single to a one board and like my 2-ply, just to get a little bit of weight in my hands, and like boom, I hit a fast fucking single with like a 4-second pause. And I didn't know if I had touched the board. I was like, oh shit, touch, okay, boom. And then when I went to rack it, I got kind of a bum shoulder on my left, and the bar went under the hook on my left. I had to hold it there for like 5 seconds while they tried to get the bar up and out and then into the hook. So that kind of pissed my shoulder off. Yeah, he put it all out there today. Had a group at the gym watching your last attempt. I agree with Cody Plum. It's there. Yeah. So that's what, so whatever. But here's the thing. And the hard reality of what happened hit me, even like in the moment. So what happened was, I've come to the realization, this lift is not going to happen with pound plates.
Yeah, they go out too far, and they don't like together.
You know how you get like kilos together and they just stick together. No,
Yeah.
and I'm not competing raw. Thank you though. So it's not going to happen with pound plates. It's just not. And Rob Farrell had a good point as well, that these old Golden York hundreds are so old and pitted, they don't sit flush, and any time they move or jostle, that sends reverberations down the entire length of the bar. Seeing Rob's bar, this has never happened. Seeing Rob's bar loaded with 1400 to where there was, when he put the collar on, there was no bar left. My Owen and Dean were grabbing the collars themselves.
Yeah, and they weren't like smooth collars. Like they
were those
bulky, like
giant,
York.
York, like the twisty things,
Yeah.
and the giant. They had
They're
to like.
How are we gonna do this?
They were rotating the plates, trying to find a good way to hold on to the collar
Finally,
itself.
they just said, "Fuck it, it's gonna hurt, but we'll deal with that later."
Yeah.
They're OGs.
So they did an awesome job, not grabbing the actual bar. They had to grab the collar itself, and do a handoff. So I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Owen right there. No fun grabbing those.
How are your hands, Owen?
Hope your hands are okay. That's a lot to ask of you guys. I'm really sorry. I didn't realize as soon as I saw that, I was like, "There's no bar left." It didn't get in my head, but I was like, "Is this a good idea? I don't know if I should do this." So that kind of, oh boy. So
I think if the bar didn't oscillate, it would have been the day.
So that's the thing. And
that was a big factor that
Yeah.
because it happened at Rob's with 1450, but not like today.
How are your hands? My hands are fine. They're a little.
He had lidocaine patches on.
Yeah, I had lidocaine
earlier.
patches on my hand. They're fine. They're a little sore, but I'm good. Do you think at your level you could have an input of what plates they use or not? Not really, because I'm just a competitor. Like I said, I'm not special. I don't want the special treatment. Nah. But at the York Barbell Hall of Fame for this meet, they will use the York 100-pound plates.
And I think they only have pounds, like even in the warm up.
So Lindsay, when there's no bar left, they have to grab the actual like iron
plates.
Collars themselves.
Oh, but even if there's no bar left.
If there's no bar left at all, they'll actually bear hug the plates and hand off like this.
Which we had to do before we got a good bar in kilos. We duct taped shit together instead of collars because we didn't have room for a collar.
So that's a little hairy. That can be a little precarious. It's better to just be able to grab the bar. Yeah, York only pounds. So I just have to go where I'm gonna have those circumstances.
Yeah.
So what it's gonna take to do this lift, and I'm still 1,000% to the IPA. It's just I probably won't accomplish this particular lift at this particular location.
Yeah.
Because IPA uses pound plates at some meets and kilos at others. Like Rob's meet in Erie was kilos. Baddest Bencher was kilos both years. We use kilos in the gym because it's the most efficient way to load that much weight onto the bar.
Which is also the safest.
Well, too much whip with 100-pound plates. I had 6 100-pound plates per side, plus a 45, plus whatever, plus a collar. And you have to, aerodynamic. So that's the thing. And on CJ Morgani here on YouTube, it's kind of crazy that a major factor of what's holding up your record is the quality of equipment.
The quality's not bad. Like the quality is great.
It's just
this
the
is
type.
the best of the best. Yeah,
it's the type of equipment, and that's the problem. So now I'm training for a meet in February. It's actually Chris Jibiden's meet in Hurricane, West Virginia, since he just became the West Virginia State Chair for the IPA. Good on him. Paul's on here. What's up, Paul? That meet's going to have a solid bench, 14-inch pad, my barbells, because he doesn't have any bench bars, so I am supplying the meet with F8 bench bars, and then kilo plates. That's going to be awesome. I think that will be a good time, a good meet to do this at. So I just had to come to the realization that, like, like you can't load. Like I've seen 45 standard barbells loaded out to the ends. I've seen that plenty of times, but to see a a bench specialty bar, and right now the strongest, best bench bar on the planet that you could possibly buy, the Sportcraft F8 bench bar. Seeing that bar loaded all the way to the end weirded me out. It was tough. I was like, oh boy. And I'm feeling the reverberations. I can feel that shit. CJ Morgani, quality maybe wasn't the right word, but it's having the proper stuff available at the meet. You're right, yes.
And then Thomas had said a bit further up, he said, just wondering, what if you went for 1,600 or 1,800 and the plates would literally fill out the bar and no room for collars? That's the limit. Like there's I think there's going to be a limit, but it's not going to be. I don't think the human aspect is going to be the limit. What's up, James Blair? I don't think the human part of that is going to be the limit. I literally think the equipment, the barbells, that's what's going to hold people up. I think so. Chris just competed at an APF meet, right? Yes, Chris Dividend just competed at the North of the Border meet, which was held in Kentucky this year. Normally it's held in Cincinnati with Laura Phelps, but they crossed the river and held he
it.
was still with Laura Phelps.
She still hosted
a
it.
different gym,
She just went across the river to Kentucky. But yeah, he did good. He did good. I don't know his numbers. I think he did no, I do know his numbers. He benched 660. He squatted, I think, almost 8, and then pulled 705. 705. He did good. He got first place, so he did really well. So yeah, man, I'm just kind of on a, I'm on a cloud, and I didn't even do anything, but I got on the platform and tried it. I'm really happy about that, and I'm healthy, and nothing. Well, I'm hurting, but that's normal with that kind of weight, but I'm not injured. What's up, Kolb? How was the drive? The drive sucked, man. It was bad on Friday. It took us 4 hours. That's normally a 2.5 hour.
I was like, it was fine. We got home and we even stopped for Subway and still made it home early.
The way home was fine.
Yeah, we had a good
The way
day
up,
today.
it took us like twice as long as possible as usual. Thomas says, what we got? Thanks for getting back to me on that, Katie. I was asking because I was like, well, can the force you to lift without even collars on, or would this force the location to use kilo plates regardless?
We would just switch locations.
I'd be like, hey guys, hey meet director, what kind of, what bench are we using, what bar are we using, what kind of plates are we using, and if it's not the right kind, I just can't lift there. Now, and yes, we're back in Virginia, if I drop a weight class and I'm trying high 11s, 1200, maybe low 12s, that's fine. I can lift at York again. But for this lift, for this 1,400 pound mark, I have to have very specific circumstances. Big heavy duty bench, F8 bench bar, and kilo plates. That is what's going to be required.
And we didn't know that up until trying it,
We tried it, and
because at Rob's,
we learned.
We mixed.
Well, we mixed.
Kilos and hundreds and kilos, right?
Yeah, but...
And it was whipping a little bit, and then we get back to our gym, and it's not, and we're like, okay, no big deal. That was just a fluke thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because we got the new bars from Rob, use those, no oscillation, no whipping.
Nope.
And we're like, it was just a fluke. And then today, we discovered it was not just a fluke.
Yeah. I had a good question. That's the most weight in human hands. Straight weight. I know Tiny Meeker's trained with 14 plus, with reverse bands and stuff, but I think
you've had 1450.
1450 straight
on a
weight.
Platform attempted in a meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
ever.
1400 is the most weight. 1325 was the most weight ever attempted, regardless of squat, bench, or deadlift. But that one was the most shocking because I came down with it super confident, and then the very bottom, it literally was just I was like, whoa, I can't stop it.
That was wild.
It was crazy.
And there's no amount of us yelling ooh, steady it, because you're like, no fucking shit.
No shit.
Thanks for the help.
My body weight today was 340 pounds.
Also, I just looked because I was curious. Because 1325, we picked that number because it would be the first 600 kilogram lift in powerlifting history.
1320, unfortunately, is 599.978 or
Yeah.
something. So
It's dumb. But 1400 is 635 kilos.
Okay.
So that's cool.
635.
I just wanted to look that up.
CJ Morgani, the oscillation problem is an interesting one. Blaine Sumner was talking to Dave Tate about controlling that on the walkout was the hardest part of his squat.
Yeah.
So imagine what he could have done if he just used a monolift. Even with
I know.
a 45-pound bar, if he didn't have to walk it out and it caused that oscillation, how much more could he have done? Mark Anthony, good question. What would be the plan when you max out the equipment? Single ply full time? No, I mean
different weight classes.
different weight classes or even challenges like doing like reps. I've got plans in certain circumstances, not in the gym. I'm not going to go any further than that. I want to keep it secret, but I've got plans to do things like I've done 1,000 pounds for 10 reps in the gym off of like a one board. I have plans to do that full range for specific reasons, but so it was a successful R&D day. That's right, Reggie. Yeah, I competed as well at your last bench at York. Very good. Cool. Thomas says, so York would be only a 1,400, 1,500 pound plate attempt place. So York would be no. If kilo plates, yes. And Thompson fat pass, 17-inch high bench, F8 bench bar, yes. Kind of insane to hear like a famous lifting place has actually been. Yep. James Blair says that thing was flopping around no matter what. That much weight in your hands is fucking amazing. Oh, I didn't do anything, but thank you.
Yeah. We're still looking at different videos and stuff of it too, because it goes so fast.
Yeah.
And
Thomas says, kind of insane to hear like a famous lifting place has actually been, and then down here, outlifted by a lifter. 1450 soon. I gotta get that 1400 first, and then we'll talk about, more. More.
Yeah.
How many times can Jimmy rep 225? 70, I think 72 or 73, Cody. It's hard. I don't train for that kind of shit. It's kind of worthless. If you want to train for it for the sake of doing it, but like, me doing rep out sets with 2 plates is not going to make me bench 1400. It doesn't, the gap is too big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's too big of a gap now. Lemon Lime Kool-Aid says, take the multiply record even though you hate multiply with a passion. I would take the multiply record simply by using a single ply shirt and just entering the multiply division.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. Thomas says, I know you've done cupping at home, but I ever heard about or done hijama cupping. Hijama?
Maybe?
I don't know what that is. I'll have to... Oh, Taylor's on here. I'll have to look at that, Thomas. What was your max and multiply? I don't know. I actually benched more single ply than I did multiply. I benched 1,120 pounds at a body weight of like 297 single ply. My best multiply was 1035. So single ply is fucking superior. AMRAP April fun. AMRAP 1K bench in April. Okay.
I'm excited for AMRAP April again. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. Let's see. How do you approach helping athletes who have mental blocks with lifting?
I don't know if you've had any yet.
So, helping athletes. So not like myself, helping others.
Yeah.
Mental blocks. Everybody has them from time to time. Everybody's had them in their career, including myself. I still have to deal with this from time to time. I'm in a little bit of a different position now that I'm trying the weights that have never been done. It's a lot different. So it depends on the person. I've not had to personally like
talk someone
down or like, hey, it's a tough loaded question, but it depends on your situation. So if you want to message me specifically, like if you are having issues mentally with like lifting, just send me a message and just ask specifically like what's going on, because it's hard to. I probably have an answer. I just can't. I don't know what the context is. So if you want to message me about that, I'd be more than happy to answer. So we got. Do you think technique is the key difference between? You think technique is the key difference between multiply and single play? Not really. The technique is almost identical. That's just the nature of the equipment. If you have a properly fitted single ply, it can rival anything multiply. So until someone takes a multiply poly and benches a minimum of 1121 or more, I can still say single ply is superior. I truly, honestly believe that. Pinto Strong says, "Hey, do you have any advice on wrist pain on the bench? I'm a raw lifter, but after heavy benches, my wrists are on fire. Make sure that you're. I see this a lot, not just with raw. I see it with equip too. Make sure your wrist wraps are actually like where they're supposed to be. Your wrist wrap does not belong down here on your forearm.
Move your arm up so YouTube can see.
Because look, you can still move your wrist. That wrap needs to be on the back of the hand, like almost not on the forearm at all. Like very top of the forearm bones. Here's your wrist bones. Here's your metacarpals. These bones. You can actually see a little bit where the red is on my hand here. That's a little bit better. Right there. See that red? That's where the wrap sits on the back of my hand. If you have it just down here, your wrist can be bent back and fuck your wrists up. You have to get that wrap on the back of the hand. Keep it off your palm, high on the back of the hand. That way you actually have support and your wrist won't bend backwards.
And then maybe like where they're holding the bar, because if you're holding it like super high, that's what I was doing, and it was
don't hold the bar up here in your hand. You gotta sit the bar right here on the heel of the palm, where all that fucking thick fucking skin is now on my goddamn hands. Yeah. That's where the bar sits, down here, not up here. So definitely, I see a lot of bad habits with people's hands on the bench. Travis McKinney, how's the full power journey going, or is it that on hold? That is definitely on hold. Yeah. Because
there's a lot of bench goals.
I have bench prowess, so I am not doing full power. I'm not thinking about it. And there's some information for you as well. I'm behind. So yeah, there you go. Travis McKinney with some good wrist advice. Justin already says, does technique differ within single ply or multiply, etc.? No, not really.
Like poly to poly.
Poly to
poly. As long as
poly.
you're wearing the same, like, don't go from like a single ply katana to a multiply SDP, because the groove and stuff is going to be different. But if you're going from like a single ply katana to a double ply katana, it's going to be the same thing.
Yes. Now, even for me, like, the technique in the band shirt doesn't change either. I use the exact same katana technique in a band shirt, too. Reggie says the all-black F8 wraps are my new favorite. They're a good pair of wraps. Hunter Love, what's up, man? Did you have any changes made to the F8 to allow more tuck position versus elbows out? So Rob made my 2 custom 4-plies with angled sleeves so I can tuck. However, I've taken stock shirts from Anderson and made those tuck. They're very malleable. They're very pliable pieces of equipment. So you can make them do what you want. So even with a stock one from Anderson, I still tuck my elbows anyway and make it do what I want it to do. I start out by tucking.
It takes a few sessions in it to get it to like...
It wants to do...
I guess.
Yeah, it wants to throw your elbows out, but if you just force it to tuck, it will start to mold itself in that way to where you can tuck. So you just force it to do what you want to do. Make it work for you. Don't let it work against you. Let's see. Do you squat or deadlift? Not really. I deadlift once in a while. Squats suck. Lemon Lime Kool-Aid, do you do
powerlifting full time?
Well, I bench press. I'm not really a power lifter.
Like, it is his full-time job.
It's my full-time gig right now.
Yeah.
I do that for a living right now.
Yeah.
And best shirt to get for a beginner going into multiply. Get anything that's used. I know that sounds stupid. Don't buy a brand new multiply piece. Go on eBay, go on to powerlifting, multiply powerlifting on Facebook, go on wherever. Buy something used. Buy something used from a friend or somebody you know. Get something that's a little bit big and used Don't try to learn it's something that's brand fucking new because it will
Yeah.
be absolute hell.
And hopefully, if you're getting into this, you already have like a crew of equipped lifters near you or with you that you. I mean, ask them. Be like, hey, I want to try a multiply shirt. Do any of you have a shirt that I can get it? That's what we do with our crew. Someone's ply curious, and we figure out who's got a shirt that's close enough to size to shove that person in,
Yep.
and then go from there.
Yep. Buy used. Don't.
Ply curious, yeah.
Any shoulder pain benching that heavy? Not really, because I do it properly. I've had shoulder pain in the past with my shoulder being out of position. As long as I can stay very tucked, I have no shoulder pain. Because I've also benching equipped and it doesn't destroy your body.
You did have shoulder pain when we were first using the Fate shirts.
Well, that was
Because you were flaring out. That's
People-
what everybody
yeah.
was saying to do.
people were telling me to flare out like this and bench 1,000 pounds. My shoulder would pop and I would be out for 3 weeks. So,
Yeah. You'd come home from
Yeah.
the gym and be like, I'm never doing this ever again.
yep.
And we were like, throw in the trash. And then
Yep.
Mom's
I wanted.
like,
I wanted
wait.
to. I wanted to cut up with a pair of
Yeah.
scissors. I was so fucking pissed off.
We called Kevin and Anderson, and he was like, call Rob and
Yeah.
tell him what's wrong and see if he can fix it. And that's history, folks.
Interesting question. Do you have any want to hold the Poly Unlimited and Raw record all at once? Not really.
Not the Raw. We
Not
do
the
have
Raw.
we do have a list of records, a
Yep.
record board that hangs in our kitchen next to his.
I have
Food.
the Poly and the Unlimited, but I don't really give a fuck about Raw.
What are the weight classes we have? A super heavyweight.
242, 275, 308
from
super heavyweight.
242. Do you think you're going to drop back down to 242?
No.
That would be an interesting time.
It would be hell. I don't
you know
think
how
it's-
much Peter Panda you would not be able to eat?
I'd have none actually. Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Lindsay says next time you're over this way, would love to get your autograph on my belt, or if meet you up with the old man sometime, I'll give it to him. I don't know when I'll see Tracy again. We'll be in Ohio for the
You saw him
Arnold.
today.
I saw him today. Yeah, he came by and watched. I was like, sorry, he had to sit there and watch me bomb out. But
Well, if he comes down to the February meet, he talked about doing that.
oh yeah, there's
So-
the Hurricane West Virginia meet.
Yeah.
I will do that for you, absolutely. Justin says, do you prefer heels up or heels down when you bench? Heels down. I know sometimes they're up. I am trying to force them down. You get more lower body engagement.
And you'll actually hear us yell at him like, heels down. That was a really good cue that Amber used to give us all the time.
Yeah.
Heels down and squeeze your ass.
Reggie says, how are the forearm bones feeling today? They feel fine. I'm a little sore. I'll be honest. I am sore, but the bones are fine. I've already had them X-rayed. I'm good up to 1450 at this point. There's no fractures. I just got sore soft tissue. CJ Morgani on YouTube says, is the break-in of a band shirt as intensive as that of a single ply? Actually, no.
No.
There's no break-in period for a band shirt. You just put it on and go.
Take the ride.
Just start using it. You don't have to break it in. You don't gotta wet it. Don't ever wet it down. Don't ever wet a band shirt down.
I bet it would stink.
It probably would.
I don't know why, but I feel like it would stink. It would smell. It would be smelly.
Probably.
Blech.
Yeah, there's no break-in period. You just put it on and just start fucking using it. It's awesome. Anthony Sissel says, hey, Jimmy, how you feeling? I feel okay. I'm not pissed. I feel fine. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good to go. Justin says, how many of your crew are also equipped lifters? All of them.
Everybody except Owen
Owen's about to be.
and Joe.
Okay, Joe. So, Owen is about to be. Dino, Brian, Cam, Taylor, Paul, Zach,
You.
me. Joe is our gym owner. He's raw. So 8 of us are equipped. In the state of Virginia, that's fucking rare. That's rare in Virginia. I need to figure out if my shirt, if my shirt my buddy gave me is multiply or single ply. It's an insert denim that's cut up the back. It's probably multiply.
Probably, yeah.
I've never actually seen a single ply denim in my life. The Muscle Guru. Any recommendations to non-equipped benching? Any
More
recommendations to non-equipped
Probably like
benching?
raw instead of like saying raw. It's like non-equipped. Do you have a more specific question?
I'm not sure what-
about?
Any recommendations? I'm not sure what you're wanting me to recommend, so I need more than that. Just out of curiosity, what have you raw benched before? I don't really know, don't care. Have you considered doing any meets on the West Coast in the future? The West Coast, man. I'm not a big fan of the West
Just
Coast.
a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and
Fly us out there, and his stuff. Like, his bags are not light.
Yeah.
These shirts weigh a lot.
yeah, no,
And to fly that far and hope that the
Grampy.
conditions are good. Like,
Yeah.
even driving 3.5, like today, we drove, 3.5, 4 hours.
yeah.
And the conditions were not
Well,
for that. But flying across the country and having a bomb out day,
yeah.
that would extra suck.
And again, I've been to the West Coast, and I'm not a fan. Sorry. No,
But it's never a never.
no offense to anybody. Why did you bench without a belt today, though? I've never seen you do 1K plus on Patreon without a belt. No, on my third attempt, I really wanted to try something.
It was a Hail Mary.
I figured, okay, I think the belt is preventing me from pushing my belly up as high as I can. When I bench in the gym with like a bench tool or a Widowmaker, oftentimes I don't wear a t-shirt so I can really stick to the pad. I don't wear a belt because there's no point. And when I don't wear a belt, I can belly up so hard, I can actually see my touch point. I can't do that in a shirt. When I'm in a shirt, I'm benching blind in the bottom quarter inch or so. I'm like, I can't see the bar. So I took the belt off in an effort to belly up more to make up for that, like, millimeters of touch that I missed on the previous attempt.
It's so frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. Like, watching
Yeah.
you be that close, and everyone's just like, just fucking touch.
Yeah. Reggie says, remember how much we shit talked about band shirts? Look at us now.
When they were still in the multiply division and people were taking multiply records
Yeah.
with band shirts where they're not the fucking same, yeah, I'll still
when
talk shit about
when
those
they
fucking
when they
lips.
when they separated them
Yeah.
into its own division, good to go.
And anybody who uses a band shirt to break a multiply or single ply lift now, I'll still talk shit about that too. It is not the same.
Have you ever had forearm problems or tennis elbow? I have not been able to shake the tennis elbow for about a year. If you have tennis elbow, take a band or something around your fingertips and extend.
Oh yeah, you got that thing this weekend.
I just got
It's
your.
in the trunk.
Okay, good. I'll have to dig it out. Get something around your fingers, like a rubber band or something, to start extending your fingers. That can help tennis elbow. Just try that until it burns. Do it again the next day till it burns. That can really help that tennis elbow. Joe is an absolute stud raw lifter. He is. He's very impressive.
Yeah, he is.
Very impressive. Anthony Sissel says, any recommendations for someone switching from poly to a band shirt? I have used poly for ages but want a band shirt. Go through Anderson Powerlifting. Get yourself a double or a triple.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk more, just DM me. We can talk about it.
Yeah,
I have
like
a-
sizing and stuff.
I have a code for Anderson Powerlifting Kolbstrong, which saves you 10%. If you want something like 100% custom, you're going to have to go through Rob and get one done. He can literally do anything you want him to, but if you want something quick, the stock ones from Anderson are fucking fantastic. I love my stock shirts from Anderson. And then later on, if you want Rob to trick it out for you, he can do that later. So if you want me to talk more, just DM me. I'm open to that. And then Reggie says, Baddest Bencher is probably the closest to the West Coast. Yeah, it's kind of right in the middle, isn't it? Yeah, but you know,
That's like middle of the country?
it's like
Texas?
it's like right in the middle.
Are they considered the South?
Yes. Well, they're right on the Gulf, like on the border to Mexico.
I mean, like, I know they're the South middle. But
Well,
if someone's like, I'm from the South, does that count for Texas?
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Oh, okay.
Louisiana, Florida, Mississippi, I think. I don't know my states very well.
Okay.
Let's see. What are your working sets when you deadlift the weight? I've from the floor. I gained some more weight and it threw off my leverages and everything further. But when I was efficiently pulling conventional, with straps. I was doing I could pull 660 from the floor. Sometimes from blocks, I've pulled 7 plates for triples. And I've done 6 plates for sets of 10, 5, I don't know, it's a whole bunch of things. I'm not a good deadlift. I'm not built. I'm built for bench, which means I'm not built for deadlift. Justin says, would you ever have a meet at Unleashed Strength? Maybe attempt something at home in Virginia. We talked about that
On the way home.
On the way home, we actually talked to Joe in person at the meet, and we're actually thinking about doing that. We could have Rob sanction it, or Becca and Barry sanction it. There's a lot of people who could sanction a meet.
Or perhaps Matt Brooks, who
Matt
is
Brooks.
the state chairman for Virginia.
Matt Brooks could sanction it, so we're thinking about that. We would just need a good comp spec bench,
And probably a second monolift for depending, unless we put a cap on it.
or we
like-
just do a bench only, or
Oh yeah, I guess
bench
that's
and
true.
deadlift.
Do like a push pull.
Yeah. So yeah, we're actually thinking about doing that. So well, we'll see. Sorry, cut the echo. I don't want the. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Grampy. It was Grampy. Yeah, it's not the material, it's the comparison. Okay. They make single ply or multi-ply band shirts. Yes, they do. They make single layer band shirts all the way up to 6-ply.
Yeah.
Rob can make up to 6-ply shirts. What size are your forearms ever measured? Well, I think I have a.
I have a that's over here. Hold on.
We're gonna measure them right now for you. I think I'll do it. I'll do it flexed because
So you get the biggest number?
yeah, I want the biggest number. Let's see.
Alright.
We're gonna do the meatiest
You
part.
want length or girth?
Girth.
Oh, that's a big flex for a big boy. Oh, 16 and just one. Well, flex harder. Quarter. There you go.
Okay.
It was like the line right before the quarter.
Okay, 16 and a quarter at
There
the
you go.
thickest. So, never done that before.
Want to
That's
measure the other one and see if they're the same size?
yeah.
Okay.
This one's a little more sore. It'd be harder to.
Okay. Oh shit. Oh, this one's bigger. Unless I measured in the wrong spot. This one's like 16 and a half, dude. Is that right? Are you cheating? Yeah, that's 16 and a half. Wow.
So there you go. There you go.
Should have measured that one first and then that.
Yeah. Emily Predressel? Huh? Can you explain more about what the Kolb Strong Scholarship is? I'll shoot you a message about it. Thanks for the kind words. Oh, that's Anthony. Yeah, Emily. So it's a foundation that she created, that I co-founded. It's our foundation that helps young lifters ages 13 to 23, so the teenage and junior lifters for powerlifting. For every $1,000 we raise, we sponsor one athlete. For example, this year we've raised over $10,000. We have one event left at the end of December, the deadlift disco.
I think we're like, I want to say $550 away.
We're seven. We got $10,350.
We got more this weekend. Though,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
We're about $500 away from 11,000.
Yeah.
So that means at the end of January, we will pick 11 athletes and cut them $1,000 checks.
So sponsorship means, like, for every 1,000 we raise, we give $1,000 to a young athlete. So we'll get to help at least 10 people this year. So they'll get a $1,000 check plus like a little goodie box with like, a T-shirt from us, keychain, stickers, stuff like that. Maybe ammonia wraps. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The box is kind of like curated by people who donate stuff. But yeah, so that's what it is. We're just trying to help the next generation, because it would have really helped us when we were that age.
Yeah. So it's just helping young lifters, $1,000 a piece. And Thomas, I've not pulled 700 from the floor. I've pulled 700 conventional from like 4-inch blocks. So not quite from the floor, but it's good enough for my bench. That's fine. And then Justin says, I think it'd help you out if you did a meet at home in Virginia because you're familiar with everything such as equipment, people, etc. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. It's just a matter of getting it sanctioned. We will need a comp spec bench. We have one, but I don't think it's going to hold to 1,400 pounds. That's the one hiccup. We got the bars, we got the plates, we need judges, and a good comp spec bench. And you got to get a 10-ply. Put 2K on the bar to touch. That'd be 2K is.
I don't think we can get 2K on the bar.
No, it would never.
And more ply doesn't always mean better.
Yeah.
We've also found that out here recently.
Facts. Money is a huge factor, especially for us college kids. There you go.
Yeah.
Good thing you're doing. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's for the young. It's for the younger crowd. It's for the young folk, because when we were that age, $1,000 would have fucking really helped us quite a few times. And it's up to the discretion of the athlete who gets the money. They apply throughout the entire month of January. We collect the applications. We go through it with the board. We look at them. Other people look at them. We pick well, in this case it'll be 10 or 11 athletes who deserve it the most, who need it the most. They can use it for whatever they want: new equipment, gym dues, travel, hotel rooms, entry fees for meets, whatever. Or they can blow it on a PS5. I don't give a fuck. It's their money, but it's intended for you for your powerlifting prowess. But if you choose to do it with something else, then
None of our business.
it's up to you.
Yep.
What shirt were you rocking today? I was wearing my original year-plus-old 4-ply from Rob Farrell. After a year of use, that thing is still able to handle 1,400 pounds. I think it's pretty incredible. That's a testament to how long those things can last.
Old trusty.
Yep. Eric Nemitz, hey Jimmy, I saw your 1,400-pound attempt. What do you think happened? We just got done talking about that. So it was the fact of the 100-pound plates, the pound plates.
That's what it boiled down to. Yeah.
The 100-pound plates pushing the weight so damn far out to the edges. My guys were having to actually grab the old York collars. There was no bar left. They were having to grab the collars themselves to hand the weight out. So I cannot bench that much weight with pounds. It has to be kilos to keep everything compact.
And for you guys that are jumping in late, we're also live on YouTube. And so you can like rewind it afterwards and watch the beginning with the full like drawn out explanation. And then this is also a podcast episode that will go up later this week.
Yep. YouTube, Mini Kool-Aid says, great thing you guys are doing with the scholarship. Much love. Thank you very much. We think it's a good thing as well. Let's see. Why not a 6-ply? Because I don't have one.
You haven't needed it yet. You've done very well.
Moose says, never mind. Solid explanation. Yeah. I know I missed the explanation, but what happened with the 14, I saw the F8 page post a clip.
That's what I just
That's what it was, yeah. And then, Barry's on here. Glad you were okay, Jimmy. Sorry to hear about the bar whip. Hope you and Kate have a nice Thanksgiving. You as well.
Thanks.
You as well. Have a good turkey day. It's a great time for us to get together with friends and eat a lot of fucking food.
I will not be cooking a turkey.
It's fine.
Or anything,
It's fine.
probably. We'll probably go to IHOP and give a waitress a good Thanksgiving tip.
Yeah.
That's usually what we do, actually.
William Lee, you don't need a 6-ply. No, four
No.
was enough. 4 was plenty today. Holy shit. Because like I told everybody before, all my attempts were in my, I think it's it's a year. That 4-ply is a year and 3 months old. And it's still got tons of, such a fucking beast. Rob has diligently and graciously chopped that thing apart, put it back together, shorten this, cut this, add that. I mean, too much. He eventually told me, like, hey, it's easier if I just make one from scratch than try to, like, redo all these things. So I'll never ask him to shorten things. I'll just have him make a new one. Let's see. What we got here? If you think the 6-ply would have had made it even harder to touch or easier because you could have had more support. Now, it's a fine balance because, you know, I have 2 4-plies, both custom shirts from Rob. One's a thinner, stretchier material, the black one. One's a slightly thicker, super stiff material, the one I didn't use today. So, no, 6-ply doesn't necessarily mean that, like, it probably would make it even harder to touch. It's a science. There's a lot more to it. Jimmy, what's the first thing you're going to put on your plate? Fucking turkey, of course. Like, why? Of course, turkey.
Jimmy literally just eats potatoes and turkey.
Oh, Moose Barbell. It's probably the power lifter. I recognize the picture. Your picture there. You're the man, bro. Back and slowly but surely. You're an inspiration. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rob, add 100. It will touch after the 1325. 1425. Oh boy. I don't know. That's the thing that we're talking about before, is that the circumstances are going to have to be.
Yeah, because it wasn't the weight.
It's solid bench. Prefer a 14-inch pad, which Jimenez says he's going to put a 14-inch pad on his bench for the meet in February, and then kilos. So it has to be that circumstance. I cannot. Mm-hmm. He said that. Oh, Rob said that. Rob. Oh.
Said add another 100.
Oh, I see. Rob said. Okay, I got you now.
And it wasn't so much like the weight, like the heaviness wasn't the issue. It was
The weight was
the
fine.
whip and the
It was the oscillation.
Oscillation
It
of
was
the
just
bar.
it was trying to bench like this. It just it's not gonna happen. I have to use kilo plates. Like Rob's meat would be perfect. Jividend's meat, we're gonna have kilo plates there. So that's where it's gonna be. I hope you post on Instagram your Thanksgiving feast. I don't know. I don't want to attract the weirdos that like want to see me eat and shit. So I'll probably just, like take a picture of the table with like everybody like getting the picture and stuff. But other than that, I'm just gonna not do that because people are fucking weird. Let's see. Mini Kool-Aid again says, eating only potatoes and turkey on Thanksgiving is quite possibly one of the most relatable things I've ever heard.
maybe corn, but other than that, he doesn't even eat pie really.
Lewis, pumpkin pie.
Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. Tips for beginners who plan to get into equip full power at 22 years old. Buy used equipment that is broken in and is not very tight on you, so it's easy to learn. Make sure you have a crew that knows what the fuck they're doing. Mm-hmm. Simple as that, and then just start training your equipment.
And be safe. Face savers, safety straps.
Yep. Spotters, always.
Spotters.
Handoff
Safety,
guys.
safety.
Don't be the equivalent of trying to give yourself a self handoff. Just accept a handoff from somebody. I meant no disrespect to William Lee. He's benching by himself with those rogue hooks, but like that's his circumstance. He has no choice.
You have to, okay.
Yeah, well,
try not to.
He can self handoff 850.
Erin does the same thing.
Like who does
she
that?
She puts on her fucking bench shirts, squat suits, all sorts of shit, in her fucking garage by herself.
Yep. Cody says, I noticed on the third attempt, I think right when it was handed to you, it shot to the left and seemed to getting shittier as it went down on the side. Did you feel that? I did. Jesus Christ.
As soon as you cracked your elbow.
As soon as my elbows, I cracked them, the weight just went. It just immediately started reverberating. And I was. It's why like halfway down or more than halfway, I didn't say take it. I said, just take it. I said it just like that. I just told just take it because I was like, no, I'm done. I can't.
That's the first time I've ever seen you be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
We're out.
I was fucked. It was not good. Let's see. Stop. William Lee says, I am dumb, don't follow. What are you talking about? How many you're making the best out of the circumstances that you have, like good on you, I wish you had at least a 2-guy handoff spot. That way you could get that 900 pounds, which I'm looking forward to watching, by the way. Paul's on here. What's up? William Lee's being humble. He hands off 850 to himself. Mm-hmm. Austin says, how many calories a day do you go for? You're a beast, inspirational. Thank you very much for the kind words.
As many as he can
as many as I can get. Right now, weight gainer included, I'm probably on the high end, if I'm lucky. Probably, it's not that much. Probably between 4,000 and 5,000. On the low end, probably 3.
Like we should actually sit down and like.
Yeah.
How many calories is in 2 Arby's roast beef maxes?
Yeah.
And a 6-piece cheese stick and some fries.
Yeah. It's not as much as you're thinking. It's a lot less. I'm not taking in like 10,000-12,000 like some of these strongmen claim.
I wonder how many calories is in the Hawaiian fruit punch or orange juice that you drink by the half gallon.
I don't know. When I drink juice, I just grab the whole carton and just drink. I don't even pour it in a glass anymore.
Don't drink anything in our house. Jim just drinks right from the carton.
CJ Morgani says, have a great Thanksgiving. You as well. Thanks for doing these. It's really cool to have access to pick the brain of someone at top of their craft. Well, thank you. I like to think I am, but I'm always improving. I'm always learning. Like today, we learned a lot. So
learned a lot.
That's great. This guy asks, you talk about gear use at all? Well, gear as in like equipment, because that's what we refer to as gear. Like bench shirts and squat suits. Or if you're talking about the new age, somehow now PEDs are called gear, which I think is dumb. But no, if you're referring to that, I don't use it all. I'm natural. Cody says, I still think that squishy pad can cause that big shift because you always have top-notch handoff folks. Dude, even like I said on my warm-up on the 1200.
But you settle it. Like, it was settled. It wasn't like as soon as you crack your arms, the bench is like, psh.
But do you remember the 1200 warm-up? I came down and it went. Then I kept going.
No.
I did that. on my left side and watch it. I crack my elbows and it goes whoop, and then I kept going.
I'll have to watch it.
It was irritating. So yeah,
I don't know.
I just
There's also, I know it's a safety thing, but there's always so many spotters, and that freaks me out. And I know it's a safety thing.
We could tell them to.
But it's like if one of those 7 spotters gets even a little bit spooked and goes, ah, and touches your bar, the whole thing can fuck up.
Yeah.
And like human error. You know, I've seen it at meets, and mostly with squats, when people are like afraid to spot the squat and they take it before the dude's ready, or they touch it and then it fucks them up.
Yeah.
Makes me nervous.
Thomas says dates might be a good idea. Ooh, fruit, right? The dates. Almost 300 calories per 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. Sweet, very palatable. High in a lot of vitamins and minerals. Dates, huh?
Remember? Like prunes, yeah.
Do you remember Men in Tights?
Tights.
Nottingham, he's talking to the princess with a bowl of dates. He goes, care for a date. Oh, yes. How about next Thursday?
You have a way better memory than I do. But
anyway, that's one of my favorite movies. Avery's on here. What's on, Avery?
You could probably quote the entire movie.
Not quite, but close to it. Duncan's on here and Avery, and what's going on, guys? I'm about to wrap it up, y'all. I just wanted to come on here and talk about the competition, and you know, it didn't go as planned. I learned a lot. I'm always learning, like I just mentioned. Like, never stop learning. Always learn. But we came to a good conclusion through failure. I don't like using that word very often, but that's what it was. It was just, you know, fruit, icky. No, I like fruit.
Yeah, you eat apples.
Yeah.
I think that's apples.
Oranges.
Remember when you were obsessed with those fucking Cutie or Halo oranges?
Yeah.
We would go through like 4 bags a week.
Yeah.
Because you were just, and you'd like walking, we'd be like in Target and you're walking, you just pull a fucking orange out of your pocket.
Hi, Jenna.
What are you doing? Now it's a Rice Krispie
Eating.
Treat,
Yeah.
But.
So no, we learned a lot. Cody says, I damn near rolled off the bench with 900 at Ryan's gym because they gave it to me uneven. Yeah. So yeah, I understand. I get it. We're learning. We learned a lot today. It's just, like I said, it's one of those special circumstances where for that, again, I mentioned it, for that amount of weight, for 13 to 1,400 pounds, I've already done the 13 thing, so now it's got to be the 14. Half of that 400. You're welcome for the inspiration. Yes, always. And thank you for the kind words, Sean. I really appreciate you, bud. So we know now that if I want to get that number, it has to be with kilos. It has to be with an F8 bench bar on a solid bench. And my guys have to be there, obviously, but I'm confident it's going to happen. It's just, you know, I don't want to get to the realization or the consensus thought of, you know, that the human being aspect of the sport is not going to be the limiting factor. It's literally going to be like the weights and the barbells and the equipment. It's kind of a scary thought. Like, I do believe that. I'm a very big believer in certain aspects of humanity, and one of them is that I don't believe in limits that much. So I think that like a 1,400 pound bench is possible. I was very close today. Well, I was
you
almost
were very close to touching.
I was almost 50% of the way there. I almost got it down. But so, you know, I think that 1,400 pounds is possible. I definitely think now, through some of my training of the last few months, I definitely think 1,500 pounds is possible. Mm-hmm. But can the bars hold up? Can the bars sustain that much weight? I know, like, statically, these bars are rated for like 2,500 pounds.
Yeah, but moving
weight, like those plates have to be smacked together, super compact. Rob's.
Yeah, it's moving in ways we never thought it would move.
No, I was shocked at how the bar moved today. I was very, very, very shocked. And Rob's actually talking right now. The bars are 96 inches long. He's got some ideas about changing the bars. I'm not sure we'll get into details about that, but we something's got to give. Whether they get thicker, something has to become more compact. The further that weight goes out, and the more weight that's on the bar, the further it goes out, the more unstable it's going to be. It's a pain in the fucking ass. Avery Dawson said, just like shooting, it takes a few misses to hit the target. That's a good way to put it, Avery. I love you, bud.
And you've had a good ass year.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Cody says, thanks for the live, Colt family. We're all curious how you were all doing. Have a great night and Thanksgiving. You as well. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate you.
Do you want to update them on your space stuff before we go? What big space thing happened for you this week?
We got to watch the Artemis 1 launch from Kennedy Space Center in Florida live. Unless you're old enough to have witnessed the Apollo missions heading to the moon.
50 years ago.
50 plus years ago. There has not been a U.S. launch of a moon orbiting capable body since the Apollo missions. And we got to watch our generation's Apollo mission on Wednesday or Thursday of this past week. It was pretty incredible. It was really cool.
We stayed up. What time did it? It was like 1:30.
1:47.
1:47.
1:47 in the morning.
It was very cool.
And it was perfect launch. The solid rocket boosters fell off the side. They came back down, splash landed in the ocean. It's called the Orion capsule. Is on its way to the moon. It is within.
It was like 29,000 miles.
29,000 miles from the moon.
On our way home.
It's taken 4 days for it to get to the moon. It's slowing down in speed. It's almost to the moon. It's going to circle. It's going to be out there for a couple of weeks and come back. Artemis 2 will launch from Kennedy Space Center. I don't have a date yet. A manned mission to the moon, exact same trajectory. And that will actually take humans the furthest they've ever been from Earth. They'll be beyond what the Apollo astronauts were doing. They're going to go further than that. It's all part of the process of making a moon-orbiting space station.
Like a moon base.
It's kind of a moon base. Eventually there'll be a moon base, a permanent residence out there. They're going to have a rotating, they're going to have a space station actually circling the moon in this cylindrical orbit. Pretty fucking cool. SpaceX did a big 14 Raptor engine static fire on Monday or Tuesday. Got to watch that live. So it's moving along.
That was big. That had that big cloud.
The dust cloud
Right?
was
Yeah,
it
it was
engulfed the
huge,
entire
yeah.
base. It was fucking enormous. So they got
I was like minding our business in here, and Jim's like, "Come out here! Well, they're about to launch something. They're doing this," and I'm like, "Okay."
SpaceX has a road closure scheduled for tomorrow from 8 to 8, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is, and hopefully we get to see another static engine fire. And they're going to do an orbital launch test. Hopefully, they're hoping for December. I think it's going to be more like next year, like January or February. So, waiting patiently for SpaceX to launch their Starship here soon. I'm a geek and I love space, and it's fucking
so
awesome.
benching and bullshitting in the space.
The space. I don't want to waste you guys' entire night. Thank you very, very much for coming on here, and I appreciate the support.
Yeah.
It's been an awesome time talking to everybody. Got to share about the meet. Wasn't successful, but we fucking learned a lot, and I'm really happy that I did. So
hopefully we see some of you guys at Deadlift Disco.
Deadlift Disco is our last Kolbstrong Scholarship Foundation fundraiser for the year. We're trying to get to $11,000. That'll be 11 young athletes that we can sponsor. Right now we're sitting at 10, about $10,500. So we're trying to get that final push to get 11. And then we'll take applications the whole month of January. Then we're going to send checks out beginning of February. $1,000 checks.
Woo.
Travis says, can't wait to see you bench in person at the meet in February. Yep. I will be there. Hoping to bench 1,400. Chris Jimenez taking care of me. He's going to get a good bench. I'm bringing the F8 bench bars. He's going to have kilo plates, like plenty of kilo plates for like 1,600 pounds. And we'll make it happen. Bring my whole crew. It's going to be fucking awesome. So, everybody, please have a good rest of your evening. Have a good start to your week. Have a strong week. Get in the gym. Lift some heavy fucking weights for me. I'll be back on here next week, going live probably Saturday night, about 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, everybody take care. We'll see you next time.